Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Segal and I'm in the Los Angeles area. I'm just a activist, citizen, working for peace and justice and a fair country and a sustainable world. And so I want to share with you my latest experience today out and about talking about justice and fairness in America and building a better America together, and letting people know about the campaign of Bernie Sanders, who's running for president of the United States of America. He's a good man, and so I went out today and I talked to my neighbors like I always do now, because we are the free press. If we want to be the free people, we have to be our own free press. We have to talk and listen, more importantly, to each other, because we're all in this together. And that's one of the things that I talked about tonight when I went out. Just went out to make myself some new car overly sized bumper stickers, oversized bumper stickers, to make my car, there we go, into a extension of the free press of Joseph Segal in Los Angeles. And so I am going to put this on my car and use it to help inform everybody about the campaign of Bernie Sanders, who's running on the Democratic ticket for President of the United States. More importantly, he's running to help all of us be able to live with human dignity, not have to go paycheck to paycheck and go into debt to go to college, or if we, God forbid, get sick, or one of our family members gets sick, go bankrupt. So I went to the coffee shop in town and got their help making this, and had a great conversation with a gentleman named Ron, who described himself as a past lefty out of Chicago who's now an independent businessman, who says he likes Bernie and he wouldn't be disappointed if he got elected. And we talked about politics and economics, and I shared with him Bernie's ideas and platforms, that people who work for a living should be able to live and pay their rent, and so that was a great conversation. And the young lady Irma, who was helping me with my oversized Bernie Sanders bumper stickers, was also talking with me about how things are just not going right as they should in America. It seems like, as she said, America's going to hell, but because we don't all participate. We agreed that if we all participated together and voted and did our duty as citizens, then things would go a lot better, and I really appreciate that. And so I shared with her a little bit about Bernie Sanders also. And so then I went to grab myself a bite at this great chicken place in town by the university, and had a nice talk with a group of college frat guys. Don't know what their frat was, because I don't read the Greek letters, but they're really nice guys, and one of them was taking marketing, and we talked about how important it is for all of us to be well educated and to be able to do what we love in life, and live for good health, and not for getting rich and famous. And so I sat down, was waiting for my food to be delivered, and I had this great conversation with a young lady who was waiting for her food, and I asked her if she was a voter, and she said yes, always, because we have a right, she said, to have a say in what happens. And I thought, that nails it right on the head. We have a right to have a say, that we could use that right to say what we think should happen in our own country. And it's hard for both of us to understand how so many people have just given up and are not exercising that right. So I asked her if she'd heard of Bernie Sanders, and she said no, of course, because 19 out of 20 people I talk to have never heard of him, because he's from a small state, Vermont, back east as a United States Senator, but also because the corporate media doesn't really like covering somebody who's talking about changing the establishment, because the establishment is corrupt, and they're kind of part of that establishment. And so all of the corporate and Washington, D.C. pundits write him off and don't talk about him as a viable candidate, even though just a few weeks ago in Los Angeles, I was there at the sports arena with 27,000 screaming people who are ready to vote for him and work with him to help our country be better. And there were people wall to wall inside and surrounding the whole place, watching on big screen TVs. And still the media was outside. I talked to them, and they were talking about how the experts say Bernie doesn't really stand a chance, as they're surrounded by nearly 30,000 people. A bigger crowd than show up for anybody else who's running, and yet they're just parroting the company line, literally, of the establishment. So I talked with her about Bernie Sanders' campaign, that everyone who works for a living should be able to live, pay their rent. And she said, yeah, it's just so expensive here in Los Angeles. It's expensive to live with what people get paid. And health care, she said, even though she has insurance for her family and her children, it's very expensive. And I said that the rest of the world has national health care. They have it built into their economic system, and people don't go broke if they get sick like they do here, or worse, people die here if they get sick and they're born into a poor family, so we talked about how the rest of the world, they're a lot happier and healthier because they don't have to worry about things like going bankrupt if they get sick or into an accident, that we don't hear about how the rest of the world lives, and it gets demonized, as socialism, even though countries like Finland are routinely voted by their own inhabitants and ranked them as the happiest people, the happiest citizens of any country in the world. And they have a booming business sector that is very competitive with the rest of the business economies in the world. They just don't have so many billionaires as we do, but they don't have the homeless people either. And as a friend of mine said who moved there, he can deal with that trade because he has a great transportation system, great health care, community centers, people care about each other. He's got good health care and a good job, and most everybody there has a job, and some kind of a job that pays their way, so they're not freaking out about surviving every single month, and they could actually spend time with their kids and doing what they love. And isn't that what life really could be in America? It maybe used to be in America and should be again. So, one last thing. When I was ordering my chicken, and the man at the counter, a nice gentleman, ringing up my order, he said, "What can I get for you today?" And I said, "Well, I'd like peace on earth, equality for men and women, and justice for everyone." And he smiled and he said, "Me too, man. I really do. Me too." And he said, "You know what?" And I said, "What?" He said, "We could do that if we just work together." So on that note, have a great night, a great day. Keep up the fight, and keep talking to each other. Keep loving each other. Keep helping each other. Tell people about Bernie Sanders in your own way, whatever way that is, and we can make things better together. Thanks a lot. Oh, and check out solutions4FOR.us. It's a site I built to help all of us work together to share the good news about the Sanders campaign. Peace.